Why is this Passover different from all other Passovers? Does Passover feel different this year to you? It does to me. Same soup, but not the same. First of all, I don't think anybody in the Jewish community can say the words, "Let my people go," the same way this year. However we want the war to resolve itself, it must include the hostages coming home. According to NBC News, Rachel Goldberg, whose son Hirsch Goldberg Poland was taken hostage, said she believes many people do not realize that the 134 people believed to remain in Hamas captivity come from all backgrounds and faith traditions. She says, "You very rarely hear about the 8 Muslim Arabs being held with our 8 American citizens and as hostages. You very rarely hear about the 7 young men from Thailand who are Buddhist and who are still being held with our hostages," Goldberg said. "I think there's been a lot of noise," she said, "and you don't hear about all the different people from 25 different nations who are Christian, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus." When we say or sing, "Let my people go" this year, we will have the hostages in mind, all of them. Perhaps we can set aside a chair or a place setting for one of them as a symbol. This is a human issue, not just a Jewish one, and should involve the outrage of all the world. We cannot let them become yesterday's news. Let my people go and bring them home. Secondly, there is a tradition that Passover is structured around the number 4. There are 4 cups of wine, there are 4 questions, there are 4 types of children who need addressing: the wise, the wicked, the simple, and the one who doesn't know how to ask. The number 4 represents a spectrum, including 2 extremes and 2 more middle-of-the-road positions. All 4 sit at the same table, and maybe the table feels a little tense. It occurs to me that who is wise and who is wicked might actually be in the eye of the beholder. Perhaps the person you think is wicked is actually trying to share some wisdom with you that you don't want to hear, and vice versa. Perhaps the simplest questions are best, or perhaps just humbly listening because you don't even know what to say is the best posture. There are profound differences between baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. There are tremendous variation in points of view depending upon what region of the country you come from. It is also a custom to invite someone from a different faith or cultural background to join you. Passover is supposed to be a truly diverse affair. But sitting around the table for Passover with all of these differences might be hard. We are polarized in many ways. By including these various types of children who need to be addressed, however, the rabbis are teaching that regardless of differences, we can still all come together to share some matzah, or if you're up for a real challenge, gefilte fish. And finally, perhaps we want to highlight the idea of the 4 questions and multiply it. Maybe we want to make it a night of only questions and no answers. Let's avoid the plague of certainty this year. None of us have all the answers. Perhaps none of us have any answers. All we have are our best guesses to our problems. So when we ask questions, let them be questions of learning, not questions of debate. Questions of debate are when I know the answer and I'm testing another person to see what they will say or trying to trap them in a corner. It's not a real question. Questions of debate are a rhetorical strategy for an argument. Instead, let's ask real questions of learning, of curiosity, and of open-mindedness. After all, don't you want to know why someone thinks that way? Perhaps they have something to teach. In Torah study, everyone has something to teach and something to learn. That's the way life is as well. There is space in the Haggadah, the story of Passover, for everything. There is the maror, usually bitter horseradish, and there is the sweet charoset. There is our legitimate anger and exhaustion that in every generation an adversary has risen to destroy us, vihi sha'amda, and now it is our shift. And there is also the spilling of drops of wine to have compassion, even for those who oppress us. There is a bowl of salty tears, and there is the karpas, the green, leafy hope of spring. There is room for everyone inside each of us and all our feelings. To conclude, in synagogue, we have recently been saying, Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people still live, a great deal. These are words of resilience. But there is a second half to the phrase, Od Avinu Chai, and our vision of God still lives. No matter what anyone else does, we have that covenant. Nothing can take away that from us but us. A God who is a merciful father, mother, ruler, who cares about all their children, that vision of ethical monotheism, who creates and commands justice, compassion, and security for all, where everyone can sit under their vine and fig tree and none shall make them afraid. That prophetic vision still lives. Our faith is not broken. May you have a Pesach of peace. Shabbat Shalom.